we are ranking 7 Anteater villagers. Well, what I'm sort of thinking about is that even though it's not actually like, it's definitely the end of June, alright, because there's not even 31 days in June, but today's the 1st July, so in a way, I'm definitely going to catch up with the July rankings, definitely. I've got to make sure I'll keep them all spaced out so they aren't all like, 2 days before or 2 days later or something like that. You know what I mean? I gotta make sure I could sort of space those out, because I'm definitely gonna be working on a few videos next week. I will definitely get that working up and that stuff. And plus, I can't wait, rank these Anteater villagers, because they're definitely like a different bunch, aren't they, of villagers that are like we're introducing new leaf, etc. So let's get into it, shall we? So our first villager, we have Annabelle, who's a Perry villager. Well, the only reason why I went for Tropical Core, for example, is only because she sort of resembles an armadillo, so that's why I went with that sort of thing. And I was just thinking to myself is that she would probably fit Tropical Core than any other core anywhere else, because she sort of gives me that tropical vibe very quickly, and I feel like she'll fit your tropical island if you're making a tropical island at the moment, or you're planning to do that in the future, etc. Who knows? But at the end of the day, I did have to give Annabelle a 9 out of 10, because she's definitely one of the sweetest Anteaters there is, so that's what I mean by that, really. So let's get to the next one, shall we? So on the next villager, we have Annalisa, who's a normal villager. Well, I was sort of really determined that she might be a Japanese sort of Anteater, because she's giving me all these like elegant vibes that relate to like more Japanese sort of things. That's why I've gone with Japanese core in particular. I quite like how she's actually dressed as well, because it gives me off Japanese vibes straight away, so I'm thinking that's why I've given her a Japanese core. So if you guys are making a Japanese core right now, then just go for Annalisa. I recommend it. Well, I had to give her a 7 out of 10, because she's definitely like one that I'll recommend to have on your islands, and two, she's definitely one of the most beautiful Anteaters there is, and she's definitely a Japanese so-called Anteater that I'll recommend anywhere else. So yeah, you could always have her on. If you aren't doing like an iron core for your iron, then you could always go for Annalisa if you want to. So it doesn't matter if you're doing it iron core based, or you're not doing it iron core based, basically. So let's get to the next one, shall we? Our next villager, we have Antonio, who's a jock villager. Well, I was sort of thinking to myself very carefully by looking by design, what core would he actually suit? So I was thinking maybe jungle core, because he kind of gives you that jungle core sort of vibe, and plus he looks like an original Anteater by no means as well. So that's why I've sort of given him an 8 out of 10, because I quite like his design. He looks like original Anteater that you would see like in the wild, wherever you are. Maybe it could be in Europe, or maybe Eastern Europe, wherever. But sometimes you get Anteaters everywhere, but sometimes you see them in zoos sometimes. That's why I'm thinking that Antonio is definitely no exception. He's definitely a original Anteater in my opinion. So let's get to the next one, shall we? On this villager, we have Cyrano, who's a cranky villager. Well, I have previously had him on my other arm before, and he's definitely one of the most eye-catching sort of Anteaters you might want on your island. But you might have different opinions about Cyrano, so I don't mind whatever you sort of do. If you are kind of ranking Cyrano in particular, you could always go low if he's one of your least favourite Anteaters, or if he's one of your most favourite ones of the Anteaters you might like to have. But the only core that really stood out for him a little bit was Japanese core, because I could obviously tell, because at the time when I had him on my island, he definitely suited that vibe. So Japanese core was the one I had to go for Cyrano. Well, I only gave him a 5 out of 10 because I know he's not the most popular Anteater there is, and plus I give him as a safe spot, because these days I don't see Cyrano that often, and I know that Curie she definitely likes Cyrano for some reason. But again, sometimes Cyrano he looks like a legend in a way, so that's why I've given him a 5 out of 10, just a safe spot for Cyrano. So let's get to the next one, shall we? So our next villager, we have Olaf, who's a smug villager. Well, I could kind of tell by his outfit that he gives me off city core vibes, because he might suit in a city very well than it is when it comes to cottage core or anything. But again, he gives me that vibe of someone else we might know, who is Michael Jackson in a way, because in a way he kind of looks like him a little bit, and I feel like if Olaf came like a singer, he would have all the inspiration of Michael Jackson in it, you know what I mean? If Ola was popular, but I know he's not really that popular, but in a way, he kind of assembles Michael Jackson like we never know he would actually assemble, so I'm kind of like, you know, pleased on that sort of front. And plus, I had to give him a 7 out of 10 because I kind of like his design a bit. He looks definitely more different from some of the Anteaters. He makes him like, you know, kind of special and different from all the other Anteaters, which is kind of good breeze. Let's get to the next one, shall we? On this villager we have Pango, who's a Perry villager. Well, to me, I like how she looks more vibrant than most Anteaters. I quite like her design very well, and I feel like, I know no one's got a big fan of Pango, but me, I don't mind her that much, even though I've not had her on my 2 wines, etc. So you never know, really. And plus, I had to give her 2 cores, which were Elegant Core and Jungle Core, only because of her design, really, because she looks kind of elegant, so Elegant Core suits her that way. And Jungle Core because she fits the Jungle Core aesthetic, so it works out both ways, really. Like killing 2 birds with 2 stone, to be honest. Well, I had to give her a 6 out of 10, because I know she's not everyone's favourite Anteater, but for me, I feel like her design's definitely the most vibrant of all Anteaters. So there's a lot of things that make these Anteaters very iconic indeed, but who's our last Anteater? Let's find out, shall we? So our last villager, we have Snooty, who's a Snooty villager. Well, I don't know why they called her Snooty, to be honest, because it kind of throws me off that she's actually a Snooty villager, so you know what I mean? But I had to give her a Japanese core because I think her house interior and exterior kind of fit the same aesthetic very well, so I'm thinking Snooty would definitely have something elegant about her, but for me, she's definitely one of my least popular Anteaters of all time, because I think it's the name that throws me off a little bit, because it kind of suggests that she's a Snooty villager straight away, so what would you think, maybe? But I had to give her a 1 out of 10 because she's definitely one of my least favourite, like, you know, Snooty villagers, so that's what I'll probably say on that bit, really. Well, I hope you guys will enjoy me, like, you know, ranking 7 Anteaters, but even though there would have been 8 because Zoe who was, like, you know, introduced in 2.0 would have been in there, but sometimes I like to separate like, you know, 2.0 villagers from like the previous villagers that I've been, like, you know, ranking lately. But even though the ones in, you know, New Horizons, the ones who are introduced in New Horizons, they will always be, like, you know, included in every ranking. But if they're like 2.0, if they're like new, I'll always separate them. Same for Sanrio videos, etc. But in a way, I'll probably link that video that I did 5 months ago in the description for you guys. In a way, make sure to leave a like on this video, and if you're new to my channel and want to see more of my content, please subscribe, because a variety of content might enjoy more involved Animal Crossing content, Metopia content. Well, I'm definitely, like, you know, doing Metopia content, but I think I will definitely be releasing that video today, so you might actually see it before this video comes up, etc. because that's the one I want to post for you guys today, the one when you see me creating myself as my YouTube self as a me character. That's why I'm, like, you know, doing that today for you guys. And also turn notifications for Animal Crossing and Metopia content from me. Saving. Bye from Animal Crossing, and I'll see you in the next one. So bye.